All right, everyone's starting to trickle in. Hello, hello, hi. A few things as y'all start to trickle in into this session. Hi, I'm Hallease. I'll be doing the session today. If you want to go ahead and change your chat to all panelists and attendees, so that way as you ask questions and say things, we can all see it. That would be really helpful. Go ahead and let us know where you're coming from. Let us know where you're based, where you're located. I'm gonna give people a few more minutes to come in. Also, let me know if you can hear me / see me. Please let me know. And then also, as we're going through, you can put your questions in the Q&A. That would actually be better. So that way, as I answer them, I can say that I answered and so on and so forth. So yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're gonna give people a few minutes. We're gonna start in like 5 minutes maybe. Let's see. Ooh, people are popping in. Hello. Charlene from Charlotte, North Carolina. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Washington, D.C. Josette. I hope I said your name right. Hi. Colleen here in San Antonio with me. Hi. I'm based in San Antonio. Lisa from Portland, Oregon. Hello. Awesome. Brimer from Louisville. Hey, what's up? Nebraska is in the house. Wow. San Francisco, Miami, also. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming. London, we've got someone across the pond popping in. Hello, Zimbabwe, amazing. Hi, how are you? Awesome. We've got quite a few people here. This is great. This is great. We're gonna give it another minute or two. Again, if you're still kind of popping in, a few things to think about, or just if you can change in the Zoom webinar chat, change it to all panelists and all attendees so that way everyone can see the conversation. And then also make sure you're putting your questions as I'm going along in the Q&A. That will be really helpful as well. So then I can separate from y'all just saying hi and chatting amongst yourselves about things versus a question. So keep that in mind as we're going along. If y'all have been in since the beginning, I'm gonna say that one more time for people, just so you know. Should we pull up Adobe Premiere Pro now on our computers? If you have the bandwidth capacity to do so, go right ahead. I'm gonna be going over a few different things. I will say this is gonna be more of like an admin-y kind of session. But I really do feel like it's good to have good organization when you're doing projects like this, especially if you're going to be a YouTube creator, because the more you can kind of get used to having everything in one place and organized, then the faster you can get to actually doing the creative fun stuff. So I think it is like a balance. So if you have the capacity, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, I think maybe taking notes, screen grabs. I believe the session is being recorded, so you can always come back and reference it as well. Okay, so I answered it. Now what do I do? Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna give everybody one more minute, but again, last time I'm gonna say this. Hi, I'm Hallease, welcome. We have a lot of y'all popping in from all over. Thank you so much. One last time with the webinar chat, change it to all panelists and all attendees. So as you're chatting amongst yourselves, everyone can see it. And then also if you have questions as we're going along, put that in the Q&A chat versus the webinar chat, so that way I can see that it's a specific question and it doesn't get mixed in with everybody else with that. And so now, let's go ahead and get started. I'll do a brief introduction in case there's a few more people that pop in. So yeah, hey everyone, my name is Hallease. I am a digital storyteller, video producer, content creator, YouTuber, executive producer, all the titles, all the words. I am that, and I run a production company that I started in 2018 called Stumblewell, and we do a few things at Stumblewell. So the first thing that we do is we do scripted content. So some of you might know me from the show Say It Loud, which was a PBS digital studio show that aired on Facebook, Facebook, YouTube, And the PBS app, yes, that is where you can find it. And it was a show around African American history, culture, context. It was written by comedy writers and stuff like that. So it was all fun. Stumblewell, we produced that show for PBS. So we do scripted content like that. Then we also do original content. So my YouTube channel, the Hallease channel, is part of Stumblewell's repertoire. And I use that channel as a YouTuber to do different lifestyle content, vlog content. I really use that channel to experiment with my editing style, with my cinematography, and try to document my life in just an interesting way. And then also give some tangible takeaways about being a production company owner, or just, you know, I'm really into plants right now. So I'm doing a lot of plant videos on that channel too. It's a lot of fun. And then we also manage Sans Gluten, which is a gluten-free baking and cooking channel that we started this year. And that was really more of an experiment to see, like, what is it like to produce cooking content? We've never done that before, so let's give it a try. So that's really fun. If you have a gluten intolerance, check it out, Sans Gluten. So this session, that's a little about me. That's done, fun. All right, so this session, I actually have broken up into 2 parts. So the first part of this session, I'm gonna go over what my master template project looks like, and show you and kind of give you some ideas around if you're trying to become a more consistent YouTuber. We all define consistently differently, but if you're trying to become a more consistent YouTuber on the platform, I'm gonna show you all the kind of things I have in a base project. So that way I don't have to go around finding them every time I'm ready to put a video out. This will also help to give you hopefully ideas around how to begin to brand your channel, even if it's just simple things like a color palette, or just a simple opening graphic, things like that. Once you build those things, have them in this Premiere Pro project, and you always can reference them. So I'm going to just kind of give you some ideas around that. And then in the second part of the session, I'm going to show you how to build one for yourself. Obviously, I won't necessarily have all the assets for you and things like that, but I'll show you the sort of technical aspects of building it, dropping all those assets in, organizing them, and then compiling the project, and probably just saving it on your Creative Cloud account. If you have the full Creative Cloud suite, I believe you get 100 gigs of space. And so that, unless you're doing like crazy 4K, 6K stuff, where your assets are just massive, that should be more than enough space for you to have a nice master Premiere Pro project that's templatized. I'm also going to show you some of the Adobe stock stuff that's available within Premiere Pro. Most of it's free, because I love free, and how you can utilize that stuff to then, once again, mix it up, add it to your brand, and make it part of your repertoire. I know a lot of people feel a little iffy about templates, but I'm a big fan, because from a template, you can really switch things up and have it be all about you now, and make it seem like you built it from scratch when you didn't. And also just adds that flair of just professionalism, production value, always trying to add that whenever possible. And here's how you can just drag and drop that in. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, and hopefully I do it correctly. Zoom calls, am I right? Okay, here we go. So desktop 2, share. Okay, let me know, hopefully y'all are seeing a Premiere Pro project. Can y'all let me know that you're seeing a Premiere Pro project? Awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool. And you can still hear me? Great. Cool, cool. Okay, so this is my standard Premiere Pro project that I have templatized for myself. And I'm gonna go through some of these panels over here, or some of these bins, excuse me, over here for y'all to just kind of, again, think about these types of assets that you can begin to build for yourself and then add to this project. So in my assets, I have just my color palette with the actual, what are those called? Those number letter values of what they are. So that way, if I do need to reference that quickly, if I want to build an asset out very fast, I kind of know what my color palette is. For those of you who maybe are like, I don't really have a color palette yet, I don't really know what I'm doing, check out coolors.co, coolors.co. And that can help you start to give you ideas around generating a color palette for yourself. if anything, I would say, start with your favorite color, throw that into that website, and then see how they blend it into a color palette. And then you can start to think about like, okay, blue is my main one. This blue is my main color. And now I have these secondary colors I can start to play around with. And you can use these for your front screen, for your end screen, things like that. And I'll give you an example of how I do it as well. So that's something to think about. These little icons that you can just buy, off of, there's different sites where you can just buy little PNGs, things like that. Some of them are free to use as well if you just reference the right licensing. These are really great to think about getting because you can just throw them on screen using a very simple fade in or something like that. And they're just always going to come in handy. The YouTube play button, all that kind of stuff. If you're trying to be a consistent creator, you're always wanting to make sure that people know to like, share, subscribe, all of that kind of stuff. I have a Patreon for the production company with all the different content that we produce. We have a Patreon, so I keep the Patreon logo in these assets as well, so I can easily throw it into a video. Color palette. So again, I took a screen grab of what my color palette is. So I had it and I could have the other references as well. But I also just have mattes of each color. And for those of you who don't know, a matte, I'm gonna drag it in here so you can see. It's just a blue, just a frame of the color. Easy to reference. You'd be surprised how often you'll use these. And so I would highly recommend taking your color palette and just having it as matte colors. For those of y'all who are maybe kind of new to Premiere and don't know how to do that, I'll show you real quick. In the bottom left corner, go to New Item, and then go to Color Matte. Change whatever the settings are to match your sequence, hit OK, and then you can type in and or, free for all, pick what you want your color to be, hit OK, and then change it, title it, whatever you want to do. I'll call that Hallease Blue, and now it is there. So that's definitely something I would highly recommend because you're going to use your color palette. You'd be surprised quite a bit. Music, I have some songs that I just know. I have a song that's part of my opener, for example, and I'll show you the opener in a second, but I have a song that's part of the opener, and I just keep that on file just to have quickly reference. I also have a song that is just, if I'm in a pinch, I've bought like the absurd license where I can use it forever and ever. And so if I'm in a pinch and I don't feel like trying to find a new song for a video, I know I can just throw that song on and it fits my vibe, it fits my brand aesthetic for the channel, all that kind of stuff. So think about those things. I would highly recommend, since I think we're watching me on YouTube, but I would highly recommend if you are a YouTuber, YouTube has a free music library that you can use for all of your YouTube videos. And every now and then you can search and find some really great stuff in there. So check that out. Let's see, my opener. So if you do watch me on YouTube, then you have seen this. This is the opener. So that plays before every YouTube video. And sometimes I'll have that music, sometimes I'll be creative and do something different. But again, with YouTube, when you're trying to bring people back and get people acclimated to you, having a good opener is a way to very quickly and succinctly tell people what you are, what you're about, etc., without having to say it so much at the beginning of a video. So I just have my opener, because I'm going to use it all the time, built into my Premiere Pro project. I also have an opener for the podcast that my husband and I have. It's a video podcast, and it's a similar vibe. It's just switched out to be more shots of me and my husband. And then moving into text on screen. This is something I would highly recommend that you do. So with text on screen, I would definitely recommend that you do some kind of graphic template that is check the description box for detail. So many people, you'll say it, and then the best thing you can do is also to show it. I know with traditional film, it's about showing it and not necessarily saying it. For YouTube or content creation, you want to say it and show it as much as possible. So check the description box for details is a good one. calling out your handles, you know, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever those things are. That's a good thing to help as well. And then if you're in the mood, the whole like, share, subscribe stuff, good. Oh, I'm gonna pop. I see someone ask a question. Why do some of your files names start with under? Oh yeah, yeah. So the reason I did that is because I'm weird. It really doesn't serve that much of a purpose. I just like that it's a little bit more separated from the folders themselves. And then also sometimes in projects, I will number things, like I will number things so that way it doesn't go alphabetically, it goes by the number. So changing that to 00 and then changing this one to say, work, hello. Where's the rename? There it is. Changing this one to say 01, for example. So that way, eventually it'll push it up and it'll be in a different order. So that's something I like to do too. But there, you don't have to do that. That's just me being a Virgo. The final thing is the transition. So there's a lot of different transition packs out there on the market. If you've watched any YouTube video talking about editing and things like that, you have probably seen an ad for a transition pack before that video. So, you know, feel free to check in on those and see if any of that catch your interest or spark your interest. I honestly can't even remember where I got this one, but one transition I use a lot is the glitch. If you watch me on YouTube, on the Hallease channel specifically, then you've seen this glitch effect all over the place. And again, that's another way that I am slowly establishing what a Hallease channel video is. For transitions, we don't do swipes or pushes, we do the glitch effect, you know? So that's a way for you, again, to establish your design, your style, your brand using these tools. So again, this is my project. This is the base project that I always have. And yeah, so, and sorry, I'll answer your question in a second. But yeah, this is the transition project that I always have that I have built out for myself. And I think this really saves me a lot of time when I'm beginning to edit. With the transitions in this project, how do you save the transitions in your project files? So when you buy a transition pack, they're gonna come with instructions on how to insert them into your Premiere project, and then you're just literally saving it out and they'll always just be there. Again, once you put them into your Premiere Pro project, make that a master project for yourself. So that way you can easily, whenever you just copy this Premiere project over, all of that's already in there and you're good to go. But every transition pack is gonna be a little different. So the way I did this one might not be the way the one you end up buying will be. I hope that answers your question. Next, so that is basically my transition pack. Before I move on to phase 2, if you will, any questions? Give y'all a minute. Any questions before we move on? I see no questions. I'm gonna move on. So, to build out a new project, we're gonna go ahead and quit this one out. I changed things, we'll say no on that. So to build out a new project, the first thing you're going to want, oh wait. Yes, so the different assets that you saw in my Master Premiere Pro project that I just closed out, the different assets that you saw, those are stuff I built in After Effects, yeah. And most of them, again, were things that I had purchased from templates, whether it was through Adobe stock or through other just third-party people out here having their own templates for different titles, text on screen, things like that. And then I would go into After Effects, make what I knew I would need, change it to my color palette, change it to my look and feel, and then export it. And now it's just an asset that I have. So yeah, highly recommend that. So to start a new project, we're gonna just go ahead and open Premiere like we usually do. And everything, I'll have to drag everything over to this other screen. So sorry in advance. But we're gonna start a new project, and then I would recommend if this is going to, if you know you're going to be pulling assets from everywhere, like you have them saved all over your computer, this, that, and the third, then I would say to just start your new projects and make a new folder on your desktop. Because what we're going to do once the project is built is we're going to consolidate it and move it all to one location. And in that process, it'll copy over all the assets you bring in and put them there. So that way, no matter where you open it, as long as you have that Premiere project folder, you're good. And that's really what I want to give y'all. So that way, when you're using this, say you switch computers or something like that, you'll have it on the Creative Cloud and also on whatever device you're using. Hopefully that makes sense, and it will in a second. So we're going to create a new project. And I would say, again, to just save it onto the desktop. That's what I'm going to do, just so it's easy to find. So let's see here. Desktop, choose. Actually, you know what I'll do? Let's make a folder so we don't have a whole bunch of like auto save stuff happening on the desktop. It's super messy. So we'll call it Master Premiere. Create, go there. And then usually I call these copy over Premiere for some reason. Or like rename Premiere, you know, something like that. Everything should be same as project, so that way it's all going to that space. Sometimes I will have it to where it'll back up a Premiere project onto something else, maybe Dropbox or something like that. But for this, just gonna do that, hit OK. How y'all doing? Are y'all doing good? Let me check the chat real quick. Make sure I didn't miss anything while that's coming up. I think we're good. Awesome. Okay. So we have our project here, standard looking project. Awesome. I am going to just now start to add stuff. So I know that I have a lot of different assets in here. Let's see. Here we go, graphics. So I know that I'm going to want to add these. And you can see I'm going to start pulling things in from just everywhere to show you. That way when we consolidate this project, I can show you how it just cleans everything up. So that, we're going to throw some of this in there. We need those. Ooh, sound effects. Yeah, I love the sound effects pack. It's really good. Let's see, what else? Uh-oh, freak the computer out. There we go, sound effects. Let's see. What else do we want to add? Stumblewell branding, sure. Let's add the company, all the company logo, mock-up stuff. Branding, throw that in there. Openers. Oh, okay, glitch, throw it in there. And you can see I'm pulling stuff from all over the place. There's not a lot of rhyme or reason to it. Ooh, here's the icon pack I bought. Let's see, let's throw Instagram in there, super messy. YouTube, just throw that in there because we're gonna use that. Maybe some of y'all are, is MySpace still a thing? I don't know, MySpace. All of that kind of fun stuff. There's a color palette situation, boop, throw that in. Okay, so we just have all of this stuff sitting in our Premiere Pro project. Command B, I think it's Control B on a PC. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna do that, and then let's call this folder assets. And I just created a new bin. That's what I was saying with Command B, Control B. The other way to create a new bin is you can also just click on this little folder in the bottom corner. So assets, I want to just go ahead and throw some of this stuff just in there, just organize the project a little bit. I'm gonna create another bin, call it openers. Throw that in there as well. Let's see, these are some more PNGs. This is the logo stuff, so let's call this Stumblewell logo. Go that. SFX, that's a good way to describe that, sound effects. And then these as well. I'd say most of this, I would consider it assets. If you want, actually no, some of that's text on screen. So text on screen. Organize, throw them all in. Yeah. Now let's go ahead and create our color palette. So we had our assets open over here. That pulls up the color palette. Again, to do that, we're going to go at the bottom. We're going to hit color palette. And then we're going to start to type in these letters so we can easily, letters and numbers, excuse me, so we can easily reference what they are. We'll call that Hallease brown, so on and so forth. And we want to create a new bin for this. Let me know if I'm going too fast. Sorry. I start getting into a rhythm. Color palette. And then let's move the Hallease brown into there, you know, stuff like that. So cool. We've established our stuff. You may have more assets, you may have less assets. Now, before we consolidate this project, one thing I want to show you again is how you can start to play around with Adobe stock to begin to build your brand that much more. So if you go to the Essential Graphics panel, and by the way, you can get to the Essential Graphics panel. I have it designed into one of my workflows, but you can go to the Essential Graphics panel by hitting Window, I believe, and then, yes, and then hitting Essential Graphics right here, and that'll bring it up for you. This is where you can start to check out different templates that are available for you to use. Now you can see these are all my templates, and you can see I have so many. Again, you can buy these third-party as well, or through Adobe Stock. I usually check Adobe Stock first though, because Adobe Stock has the free option, which I love. So in here is where you will need an internet connection for this, by the way. But in here is where you can start to search for different things. So you can see right here, they have a swipe up feature. So maybe you're an Instagram creator and things like that. There you go. A few templates that I want to point out to y'all that I think will be really helpful as a content creator that you should go ahead and maybe save to your Essential Graphics layout is in screens. So if you just type in screen and hit enter, you'll see that Adobe actually has designed a few different end screens for you. And an end screen is what you see at the end of a YouTube video. And it's a place where you can put other videos that are maybe similar to your video, a subscribe button, things like that. And it just gives it a nice look and feel to have people subscribe / watch more stuff. Remember, with all of these platforms, it's about keeping people on the platform longer, and that's how you get recommended more and all that kind of stuff by the almighty algorithm. And so I actually have an end screen template in here, again, that I've pulled from Adobe. It's this one, and I'll go ahead and show it to you. I'll just build a Premiere, build a sequence, samples, just do that. And so once you hit, the way to save them, you just hit the little cloud, and that will download it onto your templates, and then it will appear in this tab. So this is one that I would use actually quite a bit. And all you have to do is drag it. And as you can see, it includes 2 square boxes to, when you do upload your video to YouTube, have those 2 videos or a playlist maybe popping up there. And the other thing that's really cool about this one is it has this nice little opening, you know, a very simple graphic for it to appear on screen. So it isn't just like a single PNG frame or something like that. Again, it's that attention to detail that starts to give your channel that feeling of production value, production quality. The other thing that's really cool about this template too, and with most of the Adobe stock templates that you can get, is that you can stretch it out to be however long you want it to be. And then finally, when you do have a template like this, you can begin to play around with things. You can come in and customize what some of this stuff does. And it's basically, I would describe it as almost like After Effects Lite, you know? So instead of having to go into After Effects and maybe you have this template, go into After Effects, change everything every single time, all of that, you can now just have it as what they call a Mogert file. I don't know if they actually say Mogert or if they just go M-O-G-R-T. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, but it comes in as that, and you can play around now with things. So maybe in each video you want to have a different little word up here of like, I don't know, appreciate you, you know, or something like that. You don't have to worry about resizing, redoing everything. It'll just appear now, and that will be what it does. So again, this saves you a lot of time, and you usually don't have to worry about everyone's looking the same because you're going to change so much of this. It's going to be yours, you know, and you can begin to play around with what color you have in the background. Everything becomes customizable, even the text itself and what text it is. So you can go in here and change it to something else. All of this, again, is how you can begin to have a brand for yourself based on whatever your preferred text is or anything like that. I'm going to check the questions. How did I get all the swatches on the color palette like that? So yeah, with the color palette, I believe you're talking about, oh, all the numbers and all that. How did I get that up there? I think that's the question. So with this, again, because I went to that website that I referenced earlier, it's coolors.co, COOLORS.co. When you do that, as you're picking colors, they will always keep what the reference number is up there. And I literally just screen grabbed it once I figured out what I liked. So that way I could see those numbers, and I just turned it into a PNG screen grab and brought that in. So super simple. Anyway, okay, back to this. So yeah, this is one that I think is really good to use, that I would recommend. And the easiest way, again, to find it would be to hit browse, open up Adobe Stock, type in screens, and it should be free and pop up. It's not really popping up for me, I believe, because I already have it, but it should pop up for you. Another template I think is really cool is anything that can help you sort of just put text on screen in a very simple way. I think that's something with YouTube that will really help you a lot. Again, with YouTube, it's about don't just say it, you also want to show it too. And usually the easiest way to show it is having B-roll and then also having text on screen, especially if you're someone who's going to be doing tutorial videos, things like that. So I always just look up lower thirds. That's a word I'll type in a lot and see what will pop up. And again, you have, when you're thinking about this, you want to think about how can I potentially customize this to be something completely different so it doesn't end up looking like everybody else's video. And a lot of that comes from knowing what your brand is. Another thing I'll type in is just text. That will usually bring up a lot of different things. Like this one's actually interesting. I haven't seen this one before. Let's play around with this one real quick. So it's downloading it. It looks like it's in. You see when you get that blue check mark, that means they've gotten it. And then you go to My Templates and you see now it's there. So I'm going to drag it. Let's just see what this is. I have no idea what this is. We're going to learn together. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool, actually. That's cool. All right. And this is a free template. Sweet. Might use that, actually. Okay, so, you know, here we go again. We can change the text here to say something else, you know, welcome, exclamation point. The background stripe, we can change what that color is. If we want it to match our color palette, let's go ahead and type that in. 593 B9. Okay, cool. Ooh, that actually, this is cute. Okay, and then tagline, let's do mine. Endeavoring to persevere, because that is who I am, you know? And let's see what this looks like. What we got. That's not, I mean, that's not terrible. I'm okay with that. And it's free. It's amazing. So, sorry, I'm not trying to like be super silly, but that's a nice, I've never seen that one. So cool. But you see, that's really awesome. These are just really great templates, basic templates that you can have that, again, add that production value to what you're doing. One thing I will say is that inevitably, you're probably going to start going crazy having a lot of different templates in here. As you can see, most of these I have gotten from Adobe stock, either paying a nominal fee or just they're free. Something I would recommend is starring the ones that you know you're going to use a lot, because once these templates are downloaded into your Premiere Pro project, it doesn't matter now what project you open, they will be there. So it's good to star them so that way you can just hit star and now see these are the ones that I use all the time. So I've starred them so I can easily reference them, because you know, you might end up picking a template to do something crazy for a very specific video. You're like underwater, so you get like splash transitions or something, you know. But you don't need that all the time. It's just a one video kind of thing. So that is something to think about, so you can easily reference them. Which now got me thinking about like splash. Is that a thing? Oh, dang, okay. The other thing I would say to look for is transitions. Again, you can always find awesome transition packs that you can buy, but Adobe does also have a lot of great, just very simple, professional looking transitions that you can pull from to your videos and once again, customize them a lot. So start to think about the ways that you can do this to make your channel stand out against other channels potentially. So we've built our Premiere Pro project. It looks good. Everything is delightful. We've found all the different assets from all the different drives that we had and consolidated into this master Premiere Pro project that we are in deep like with. And now we want to consolidate it so that way, if you accidentally delete, maybe your computer's getting too full and you accidentally delete a whole bunch of stuff off, when you open your Premiere Pro project, you don't have a whole bunch of stuff offline now that you have to then go find, you know? The best way to do that is to go to File and go to the Project Manager. And so with this, make sure that, since we want to save this whole project, make sure that you don't have any sequences checked. All the sequences need to be unchecked because we want it to consolidate the entirety of the project, not just consolidate the project based on whatever sequence we've highlighted. That's the difference. And so we want to make sure nothing is highlighted in the sequences before this was checked. We don't want that. Collect all files and copy to a new location. We want that. Make sure that is highlighted. And then for this, that's pretty much it. For some of you, you'll be bringing in so many assets that you might have this option turned on, exclude unused clips. This is such a simple project. It's not being highlighted right now, but make sure you don't have that clicked because again, we want it to take everything we've done. So have that, and then now decide where you want to put it. Oh wait, hold up, it's not working for me. Aw, rude. Oh, I know what. Ooh. Yeah, okay, sorry. So the other thing, sorry, so the issue there was that I had put in a sequence. And so again, usually what this feature is used for is for editors working on trying to take one sequence and just have that be a project now because maybe they've been working with other assistant editors and things like that. And so that was why that happened. So I just deleted that sequence. And now since it's just a whole bunch of assets organized, that's what it's gonna do now. So, okay, you're gonna collect the files and copy to a new location. Again, make sure the exclude unused clips is turned off if that is for some reason happening for you. And you're gonna hit okay. What is happening? Why are you not working? I literally just did this to make sure it would work for y'all. What the heck? So weird. Sorry, y'all. Make sure we're good. It's weird. Yeah. Boop, 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 boop. Technical issues, sorry. Let's see. Here, I know what I'll do. I don't know why it's not working for me. It's very strange because I had just done it to make sure. I don't know what's happening with that. But the show must go on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open another project. Here we go. So here is my original project that I use, right? That I was talking about at the top. So I know for a fact that this original project has assets all over my computer right now anyway, and that I need to consolidate it. So fingers crossed, we are going to try to do this again. So as you can see, it has all of the different sequences and everything. Again, you want to collect files and copy to a new location, exclude unused clips, all of that. And then you want to pick a new destination for your project. So I want to put mine, as you can see, I've already created one. If you want to use this, you can do this in the Creative Cloud account that you have. As long as you have the app downloaded, you should have access to this Creative Cloud files folder. That is really helpful. And I would say, you can see I have some things in there that I've referenced already. What I would do is create a new folder, and again, call it Master Project, and hit Create. Choose that as the destination, and then hit OK. And what it's going to start doing while it's doing that in the background, it's going to start analyzing the entire project, finding where all of these different assets are and whatnot, copying them over, and moving them into this new project. And depending on how many assets you've built, whether it be in Photoshop, After Effects, all these other things, it might take a minute. So you might need to, go get a beverage, take a break, if you will, while it does that. So while it does that for a second, it is going to take a minute for it to do that. Oh, never mind. There we go. You did that quickly. Awesome. So while it's doing that, while it's finishing up, I will show you what the end product ends up looking at. As I'm going, if there's anyone who has any other questions, please let me know. Cool. That's still finishing up. A few questions I can see here. Read the end screens, how to add videos to what to watch next. Yeah, so that's actually something that's done within your YouTube channel itself. When you upload a video, there will be an option in there to tell you to add end screen options. And then from there, it'll let you reference other videos on your channel, playlists you've built, or even just like other channels or other videos from other channels as well. And then you can also add a subscribe button. And that's why you can actually hit those when you're watching on your phone or on the computer, you can click on them. So it's something that's built into YouTube. You're basically just putting together a little template of where you want those to be placed on the screen to just look nice. So that's how that works. For some reason, I can't uncheck the box exclude unused clips because all the options are disabled. Trial and error. Make sure that if you do have a sequence in the project, that you take it out so that way it's not doing that. That also might be what the issue is. Make sure you're checking all your other settings as well. and make sure that you have everything organized. That also might help with that as well. A lot of stuff with working in these systems is around trial and error and moving things around and trying new things, hopping onto forums. I do that a lot. Adobe has a lot of forums built in as well, and I'm on there. I also watch a lot of the live streams. So yeah, it looks like it's almost done. It's copying the media over. As you can see, I had quite a few assets, so it is taking a minute. Are there any other questions as we're still going? I should say that I've answered them. That is the best thing to do. Saving project, we're almost there. Okay, so nothing will probably look like it's really changed since I haven't really consolidated, like taken the whole project and done something different with it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and quit out of this. So I quit out of the whole thing. Now I wanna go ahead and go to the Creative Cloud, and you'll see the master project is there. And you'll see it is created the same name of what I had named the project before. And now you see all that, the assets I had built. So all those transition packs I had put in there, just everything, all the different things that I had thrown into my master Premiere Pro project that I wanted to keep. They're all now in here and organized and whatnot. And you'll see, let me go back up. Ooh, there's a lot, wow. I have a lot of stuff. I do the most, I think. But you'll see it's all organized in here, and what I'm looking for now is my project. And I would say if you want to separate out your project from this, because the thing about what it does when it consolidates the whole thing is it just puts it all into one folder. And so if you want to just create a subfolder in here that says, there's the project right there. So if you want to create a subfolder in here just for the project, and just the naming convention for that would be underscore. So that way it goes all the way to the top. You can do that. And then what I'll do, there it is. I missed it. There it is. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and bring that, copy it. Just because my project, yeah, my thing is like so massive. So there's just so much stuff in here. Sorry, y'all. I just have a lot of like transition packs and stuff. So what I'll do is I'll just drop it in there. So it's just easier now to find it. But you'll see it's all in here now. And the thing why this is helpful is because now all I have to do is take this, copy it to wherever I want to start a new project, and then everything will just be in there now. So with the master project, the way that this works is that you have to have this sort of reference of all of the assets in one location, and that's why you consolidate the project, so you can do that. And this helps you to not have things being, again, all over your computer. Maybe there's an asset you use a lot that's on a drive somewhere, things like that. You know, plug up all your drives to your computer or your system, find all those assets that you know you're going to use a lot in your videos, create the Premiere Pro project with all of them, consolidate it, throw it onto the Creative Cloud, so that way it's backed up on the cloud, one. So that way, if you ever delete your computer, get a new computer, get rid of this computer, you're good. And then two, it keeps it natively somewhere in here on the computer as well. So that way, whatever system you're working on, you can start working. And you're not having to constantly look for everything again. So if I open it, fingers crossed, if I open it, everything should be there and organized. And so someone's asking a really great question. Is this consolidating something you only want to do once you're completely done editing? I would actually say the opposite. This consolidating is something you want to do when you're actually not trying to edit a video. This is the consolidation you want to do before you even start. This is like the baseline of how to think about, hopefully by this point, maybe you've been on YouTube for a while and you're starting to play around with ideas of branding and you're realizing you're building assets a lot and the same sort of assets all the time. You know, do this on a day or in a morning when you're not trying to get a video out that day, and organize everything you know you're going to use. And keep in mind that, you know, I reconsolidate and create a master template like this a couple times a year. It's maybe 2 or 3 times a year, because as my brand evolves, changes, rebrands, I add more assets in, take assets out, all of that kind of stuff. So you can see I've opened the project and everything is there. Everything is now there again and organized the way I had it before. And now I don't have to worry about things. Again, I know this is more of like an administrative thing. My Virgo tendency is in full effect when it comes to organization, but I really do find that when you can take this time to put everything together in one place, it gives you more time to do what you love, create the content, excitement about filming, excitement about producing, excitement about editing. And especially if you're someone who also is go ahead and stop sharing. Especially if you're someone who is also a video producer and you're someone who's doing that a lot, then I would highly recommend doing this. Because especially if you've figured out there's different transitions that you use all the time, whether it be for your YouTube videos or for clients, now you have that master project that you can just always reference. So this isn't even just about content creation. This can be for people that are trying to do things for different clients and there's just different assets, different transitions you know you just are going to use for them all the time. Are there any more questions? I'm going to look back through here for a second, take a quick 5. This is why I don't do live streams, because I can't do that like on my channel. This is why I don't do live streams too often on my channel, because I want to actually read what you're saying and give you a lot of attention. Cool. Okay, how would you go about reconsolidating or updating, removing assets from the master project folder? So what I would do for that is I would open my existing master folder, and then what I would do is open that existing master folder, add whatever it is new that I want to add to it, delete whatever it is old that I want to delete out of it, reconsolidate again the way I showed you, put it in a new place. Maybe it's master project 2020B or something like that. That is what I would do. So that way I don't accidentally move things around, and then delete the old master giant folder. So for example, I can do that right now if y'all want. What time are we at? 12:23. Actually, ooh, we're almost at the top of the hour. Oh no. I believe these are supposed to last for about an hour. So I will be brief. So, okay, here's our project, right? Go ahead and open it again. What I would do, again, like I said, is I would remove the things, add more things, and then go through the reconsolidation process one more time. So that way it'll work out. And don't be afraid to update it. Something else that I've done before is I've been working on a project that was, I ended up adding a lot of new assets to it, where I was just like, actually, I'm gonna use these. So I want this to be my new master. Another way I did that was after I was done with the project, you know, because it had my timelines of everything I had built for that particular video. I saved as and saved it as something else, deleted all the timelines, all the work I did. So that way it's empty again, like a master project, and then consolidated that again. So there you go. That's another way to do it too. I'm gonna hold off and see if we have any more questions. But I wanted to also say that as we wrap up and conclude this session, there is a survey. There is a survey that they would like you to complete if you have the time. Emily, who has been a silent patron on the chat, is going to put that link to the survey in the, I believe in the chat for y'all to check out. And if you complete the survey, you will have, there will be 2 of you who will have a chance to win 6 months of the Creative Cloud subscription for free. So incentives to do it, please. And as we conclude, are there any more questions, thoughts, feelings, vibes? I believe we have about 5 minutes left on the chat. If there are questions you want to ask me about YouTube in general, that's fine too. Doesn't necessarily have to be about Premiere. You could just ask stuff. I will try to answer to the best of my abilities. But other than that, oh, yes. Could we get a recording of this? Yes, there will be a recording of this. Emily will know where it'll be. I do not know where it'll be. Let's see. I believe these are actually being posted to Adobe's YouTube channel. I want to say. Emily, correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe these will be, yes, okay. Emily is going to email all of y'all where you can find the channel, but it is the Adobe Care YouTube channel. And I believe if you just go into YouTube, type Adobe Care, they should pop up. So yes, that is where you can find this. Hopefully this was helpful. Really hope this was helpful. Again, I know this is not super duper creative and like, ooh, cool transitions, this, that, and the third. But I really do believe when you like can take a day to focus on the admin side of doing this work, that'll just really help you so far in the long run. For me personally, with the Hallease channel, I post 6 to 8 videos a month, and it would take me a lot longer if I didn't just have a baseline project to work from. So hopefully this helps y'all out with your workflow and helps you to be more consistent. And with that, I think we're gonna call it a wrap, yeah? Yay, fellow Virgos are in the chat. What's up? Yeah, so I think we're gonna go ahead and call it a wrap. I'm gonna stay online just to make sure y'all are good for a couple more minutes. But if you are having any last minute questions, thoughts, concerns, vibes, I'm here at least probably for the next few minutes. So feel free to hit me up. I see some of y'all are saying it was good. Awesome, thank you. Glad this was helpful. I think we will call it a wrap soon. Please take the survey. I know surveys are kind of annoying, but they're very helpful. Surveys are awesome. Please take the survey because that'll help us to make these sessions better as well. So please take the survey. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, evening, night, morning. Hope you have a great rest of your week, a good weekend. Always praying for that for y'all. Good weekend. And I think, yeah, and I think we're gonna go ahead and call it a wrap. I'm gonna go ahead and let Emily end the session.